What if I told you the first airplane hijacking didn't happen in the skies, but on the ground? That the deadliest prank in history sparked a riot that killed thousands? Or that the earliest evidence of murder is nearly 500,000 years old? Crime didn't begin with cities. It didn't begin with laws. It began with us. Tonight, we're tracing 10 chilling firsts in the history of crime, from ancient battlefields to sacred temples, from volcanic cliffs to the skies above America. These are the moments that shaped how humanity understands violence, justice, and power. Let's step into the shadows. Number 10. The first aircraft hijacking air travel once symbolized freedom and progress. But in 1931, in Arequipa, Peru, it became something else. A small commercial plane had just landed when a group of armed revolutionaries surrounded it. They demanded the pilot, Byron Richards, fly propaganda leaflets over the city in support of their uprising. Richards refused. What followed wasn't an action movie shootout. It was a tense, 2-week standoff. Eventually, he agreed to fly, but only after securing assurances for safety. The incident ended without bloodshed, but it marked the first recorded attempt to seize control of an aircraft. Just 8 years later, aviation crime turned deadly. On October 27, 1939, a flight instructor named Carl Bivens was training a student pilot in Missouri. Mid-air, the student, 22-year-old Ernest Pletch, pulled out a revolver and shot. Bivens' Pletch had been denied permission to fly solo. Instead of accepting it, he killed for control. He dumped the body from the plane and attempted to fly home. But his erratic movements and low fuel led to a forced landing and his arrests. It was the first fatal hijacking in U.S. history, and a grim sign of how ambition and instability could turn innovation into tragedy. Number 9. The first war crimes war is as old as humanity, but evidence of organized brutality goes back even further than recorded history. In northern Sudan, archaeologists uncovered a 13,000-year-old burial site known as Cemetery 117. Nearly half the skeletons showed embedded stone projectiles, clear signs of violent death. Some had multiple wounds, suggesting coordinated attacks between rival groups. This wasn't random violence, it was organized conflict. Then, in Germany, at a 7,000-year-old site called Schanakilianstatten, another grim discovery surfaced. A mass grave containing men, women, and children. Many had suffered blunt force trauma. Some showed signs. Their legs had been deliberately broken. The pattern suggests more than combat. It points toward deliberate cruelty inflicted after capture. The term war crime is modern, but the behavior, it's ancient. Number 8. The first recorded arson in 356 BC. A man named Herostratus committed an act that would echo for over 2,000 years. He burned down the Temple of Artemis, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. When captured, he confessed his motive. He wanted fame, nothing more. The authorities executed him and banned anyone from ever speaking his name. An early attempt at what we'd now call media blackout. But a historian later recorded it anyway, and that's why we still know him. His crime wasn't political, it wasn't strategic. It was driven by ego, the desire to be remembered at any cost. Even today, experts sometimes refer to similar acts of destruction for notoriety as the Herostratus effect. Number 7. The deadliest public insult in 66 AD. Tensions in Roman-occupied Judea were already high. During Passover in Jerusalem, a Roman soldier reportedly exposed himself to Jewish worshippers and made a crude gesture of disrespect. Ancient historian Josephus writes that the act ignited outrage. Crowds clashed. Panic spread. Roman troops intervened. According to historical accounts, thousands died in the chaos, though ancient casualty figures are often debated by modern scholars. What began as a single offensive act escalated into mass unrest. It's a reminder, in volatile times, even small sparks can ignite. Number 6. The abduction of the Sabine women. Around the 8th century BC, early Rome faced a problem. There were not enough women in the growing settlement. Legend tells us that Romulus, Rome's founder, invited the neighboring Sabines to a festival. In the middle of the celebration, Roman men seized the Sabine women and carried them away. The event, known as the Rape of the Sabine Women, though the Latin word raptio more accurately means abduction, led to war between the communities. In the end, according to myth, it was the abducted women themselves who intervened to stop the fighting, urging peace between their fathers and their new husbands. Whether fully historical or partly legend, it stands as one of the earliest recorded stories of mass kidnapping for political gain. Number 5. The origins of torture as punishment. Ancient legal systems were often harsh by modern standards. In Egypt and Mesopotamia, physical punishment, including whipping, was used during interrogations. The Code of Hammurabi, written around 1754 BC, outlined penalties that followed the principle of an eye for an eye. Other ancient legal traditions prescribed stoning or execution for certain crimes. To ancient societies, these punishments were not seen as cruelty, but as justice, deterrence, or divine will. Over centuries, torture would become institutionalized in various empires, a practice later challenged by evolving philosophies of human rights. It's a sobering look at how definitions of justice change over time. Number 4. The first known homicide. In 2015, scientists studying remains from Cima de los Huesos, the pit of bones in Spain, made a startling discovery. A skull dating back approximately 430,000 years showed 2 distinct blunt force injuries above the left eye. The wounds were nearly identical, suggesting intentional, repeated strikes. Researchers concluded this was likely the oldest confirmed case of homicide in the fossil record. There were no courts, no prisons, no laws. Just one early human killing another. Violence predates civilization itself. Number 3. The first recorded suicide reflections, one of the earliest written explorations of despair, comes from ancient Egypt. A 4,000-year-old text, known as the Dialogue of a Man with His Bow, describes a man speaking to his soul about his suffering and desire to end his life. It's poetic, philosophical, and heartbreakingly human. Centuries later, Greek philosopher Empedocles reportedly leapt into Mount Etna, believing he would become divine. Legend says the volcano spat back one of his bronze sandals, revealing the truth. Across cultures, suicide has been interpreted through lenses of honor, shame, illness, or philosophy. But the emotions behind it, isolation, grief, despair, remain deeply familiar. If you or someone you know is struggling, support is available. Reaching out can make a difference. Number 2. The first recorded prostitution in ancient around 2400 BC. Temples dedicated to the goddess Inanna, later associated with Ishtar, included priestesses and workers sometimes described as sacred sex workers. Interpretations vary among modern scholars. Some believe these accounts reflect ritual practices. Others argue that temple prostitution may have been exaggerated by later writers, like Herostratus. What's clear is that sexuality, spirituality, and commerce were intertwined in complex ways in ancient societies. Prostitution, in various forms, has existed across civilizations, often reflecting economic necessity and social structure. It's frequently called the world's oldest profession, though the reality is far more nuanced. Number 1. The first documented genocide in 416 BC. During the Peloponnesian War, the island of Melos attempted to remain neutral between Athens and Sparta. Athens demanded submission. Melos refused. According to the historian Thucydides, Athenian forces besieged the island. After surrender, the men were executed, and the women and children enslaved. The dialogue recorded by Thucydides includes a chilling line attributed to the Athenians. The strong do what they can, and the weak suffer what they must. Some historians debate aspects of the account, but the event remains one of the earliest detailed records of mass killing justified by power politics. It's a stark example of how ideology and dominance can override humanity. From prehistoric caves to ancient temples, from volcanic cliffs to early aircraft cabins, crime has evolved alongside civilization itself. These firsts aren't just dark trivia, they reveal something deeper: how societies define justice, how power is exercised, and how human behavior repeats across time. History isn't only about progress, it's about understanding the shadows we carry, so we dare to repeat. Team, if this journey through history surprised you, Share it with someone who loves uncovering the hidden side of the past. Follow for more deep dives into the moments that shaped our world. And tell me, which of these stories unsettled you the most? Until next time, stay curious.